If you're watching this with a heavy chest, if your mind feels loud even in silence, if you're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, then this isn't random. This is for you. Not for the version of you that's strong, not for the version of you that says I'm fine, but for the part of you that's quietly overwhelmed and doesn't know how to ask for help anymore. Take a breath. Not a deep one, just an honest one. Because this verse, it doesn't shout, it doesn't rush you. It speaks softly, right where you are. There's a moment. Psychologists talk about it. When the nervous system gets tired of fighting, not breaking, not failing, just tired. That moment when everything feels like too much, even things that used to feel easy. You wake up already exhausted. Your thoughts stack on top of each other. Your heart feels like it's carrying weight it never agreed to hold. And the worst part, you start blaming yourself for feeling this way. You tell yourself, others have it worse. I should be stronger. I shouldn't feel like this. But here's the truth most people never hear. Overwhelm is not weakness. It's a signal that you've been strong for too long without rest, that you've been giving without receiving, that you've been surviving instead of being supported. And this verse, it doesn't ask you to push harder. It does the opposite. It speaks to the part of you that's carrying invisible weight. The kind no one claps for, the kind no one sees, the kind that makes you smile on the outside while quietly falling apart on the inside. This verse doesn't say figure it out. It doesn't say be productive. It doesn't say stay positive. It says something far more powerful. You don't have to carry this alone. Let that land, because your mind has been trained to believe that asking for rest is failure, that slowing down means falling behind, that if you stop holding everything together, everything will collapse. But psychologically, that's a trauma response. Hyper-independence, over-responsibility, the belief that your worth comes from endurance. And this verse gently interrupts that belief. It reminds you of something your nervous system forgot. You were never meant to do life alone. Not emotionally, not mentally, not spiritually. You don't need to have the answers right now. You don't need to know what's next. You don't need to be okay today. You just need permission to rest without guilt. And this verse gives you that permission. There's a line in it that feels like it was written for the exact moment you're in. Not the beginning of your journey, not the highlight reel, but the messy middle. The part where you're trying your best but still feel behind. The part where you're doing everything you can and it still doesn't feel like enough. The verse doesn't minimize your pain. It doesn't rush your healing. It acknowledges the weight. And that's important because the brain cannot release what it hasn't first felt safe enough to acknowledge. This is why being told to just be grateful never works. Gratitude doesn't heal overwhelm. Safety does. And this verse creates safety. It speaks in a tone your nervous system understands. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to lay it down. Not tomorrow. Not when things get worse. Now. Because carrying everything by yourself is not bravery. It's exhaustion. And you've been exhausted for a long time. Maybe no one ever told you this, so let me say it clearly. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are overwhelmed because you care deeply in a world that rarely slows down. You feel deeply in a culture that rewards numbness. You try in environments that don't always support you. Of course you're tired. And this verse doesn't shame that. It meets you there. There's a psychological shift that happens when someone finally feels seen. Muscles soften, breathing slows. The mind stops racing, just a little. That's what this verse does. It doesn't solve everything, it doesn't erase your problems, but it reminds you of something essential. You are held, even when you feel like you're falling. And sometimes, that reminder is enough to get through today. Let's talk about the pressure you've been under. The pressure to succeed, to heal fast, to be emotionally mature, to have it all together. That pressure creates a constant state of alert. Your body stays tense, your thoughts never rest, your heart doesn't feel safe enough to soften. This verse doesn't add more pressure, it releases it. It says, come as you are, not when you're stronger, not when you're fixed, now. And that's radical, because overwhelm often comes from believing you must become someone else before you deserve rest. But rest is not a reward, rest is a requirement. And this verse understands that. If you listen closely, you'll notice it doesn't speak to crowds. It speaks to one person, the one lying awake at night, the one replaying conversations, the one worrying about the future, the one holding tears together with discipline and silence. It speaks to you, and it says, you don't have to be strong right now. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to carry tomorrow today. Just breathe, just exist, just be. Psychology teaches us that healing doesn't happen in force. It happens in gentleness, and this verse is gentle. Not weak, gentle. There's a difference. Gentleness is strength that doesn't need to prove itself, and right now, that's the kind of strength you need. If your mind is saying, I don't know how much longer I can do this, this verse responds, you don't have to know, just don't walk alone. If your heart is saying, I'm tired of holding it together, this verse answers, then it's time to lay it down. Not forever, just for now. And here's the part most people miss. Overwhelm is often the doorway to a deeper kind of healing. Not because pain is good, but because it forces honesty. And honesty is where real change begins. This verse invites honesty. No masks, no performance, no pretending, just truth. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't scroll away from this moment. Let it sit with you. Let it remind you that you are seen, that your feelings make sense, and that rest is allowed. You're not behind. You're human. If this spoke to you, not your mind, but your chest, then you're not alone here. Stay with this space. Subscribe if you want more moments like this. Not noise, not pressure, but reminders that speak to your soul when life feels heavy. And if you know someone who's been carrying too much in silence, share this with them. Sometimes one verse, one reminder, one moment of feeling understood can change everything. You don't have to carry this alone, and you never did.